Ciao amici, benvenuti al Facile come Italiano. Hello everybody, welcome to Easy as Italian. I'm Reza and in this session we're going to talk about the easiest tense in Italian language. It's for sure the easiest and the most simple tense in Italian language. I assure you, you have to believe me because its pronunciations are very easy. It's very short. It doesn't have many irregular verbs, just a few, and even those few you don't need all of them because, well, they are the verbs that you wouldn't use mostly. Or for example, it's very easy to make, very super easy to make. It doesn't have any complication about, I don't know, different types of patterns and so on. So what is the name of this tense? This heavenly tense would be imperfetto. That means imperfect. Why imperfect? Well, because it comes from Latin, and in Latin, perfect means something that ends, that doesn't continue anymore. But imperfect would mean that something that doesn't end, that still continues, right? So you can actually guess that what would it mean in English, right? We would translate it in English as past continuous, right? For sure, because it's continuous. And actually we can also translate it as simple past, but I would tell you in which places you can do that and you will understand it very easily because, well, it's very simple. Again, you just have to see how I do it and then you would learn it completely. How can we make imperfetto? If you remember, I have always said in the sessions of verbs that we have three types of verbs in Italian language. The verbs that end with are, verbs that end with ire, and the verbs that end with ere. And I have used these three examples all the time so you wouldn't get confused. For example, there are mangiare, sentire, and leggere. Mangiare to eat, sentire to feel or to hear, that I have said how you can distinguish them to use, and then leggere, that means to read. So you already know that these verbs are present infinitive. We always work with present infinitive when we want to make a new tense, right? Now how can I make them imperfetto? I just have to take re from the end of them and then add this pattern to them. Vo, vi, va, vamo, vate, vano. Pretty simple. If you have noticed, you can see that this is just the pattern for the present conjugation, simple present conjugation, and just has a v or vu at the beginning of every pronoun, right? Vo, vi, va. In present, we had o, I, a, iamo, ate, ano, right? It just has v at the beginning, not hard at all. Now, let's work, for example, for mangiare. Mangiare, we take re, the root for imperfetto would be mangia. Now we add the pattern. Mangiavo, mangiavi, mangiava, mangiavamo, mangiavate, mangiavano. Sentire, take re, senti would be the root for imperfetto. Sentivo, sentivi, sentiva, sentivamo, sentivate, sentivano. Then leggere, we take re, legge would be the root for imperfetto. Leggevo, leggevi, leggeva, leggevamo, leggevate, leggevano. As easy as that. Now, we said this, you completely learned everything about the regular verbs. Now, let me tell you one more important regular verb in this tense. Volere, to want. If you remember, in present tense, it was irregular. Now, it's regular. Volevo, volere, present infinitive. We take re. Vole would be the root for imperfetto. Now we add the pattern. Volevo, volevi, voleva, volevamo, volevate, volevano. Very easy. You know that how important this verb can be because it's also one of the modal verbs, and also I said that when I explain the conditional verbs, you will need this verb a lot. Now, we talked about regular ones. We finished. Now, I want to tell you about three irregular and important verbs. They are important irregular verbs, remember. For example, essere, you already know essere is irregular in all the places that you go. So, there is no surprise or wonder that why it's here. So, we have essere. How would be the conjugation in imperfetto? It would be ero, eri, era. Eravamo, eravate, erano. I will repeat once again. It's very different from the rest of the verbs, even the irregular ones. So again, it would be ero, eri, era, eravamo, eravate, erano. Very easy. Now two more irregular verbs first. We have fare, that is very important again because it means to do or to make, so you may need it a lot. Fare, we don't add the pattern to fa, we add it to face, okay? Facevo, facevi, faceva, facevamo, facevate, facevano. Then we have dire, to say. We don't add the pattern to di, we add it to dice. Dicevo, dicevi, diceva, dicevamo, dicevate, dicevano. Finished. Now, I said that, well, you translate it as past continuous, right? But you can also translate it as simple past. Now, where should I translate them as simple past? I should translate imperfetto as simple past when I have the verb essere in imperfetto form, okay? You can say I was being. It doesn't sound correct, okay? So you say I was, you were, he or she was, when you are using essere as imperfetto. The other form that you would translate as simple past would be that, you know, I taught you passato prossimo, that I said you can translate it as simple past or present perfect in English, right? And well, I have something for you. When you want to talk about your ideas and desires in past, you would use imperfetto instead of passato prossimo, okay? This is not something, I mean, not as a rule. I mean, if you want to use passato prossimo, it's correct. Yes, you can use passato prossimo for sure, but it's not common, okay? Italian people, native people, use imperfetto because, well, just it's common. I mean, there is not anything wrong about that. It's just common. So if you want to talk about your ideas and desires in the past, you would use imperfetto. And where you are doing that, you have to translate it in English as simple past, not past continuous. Okay? For example, I said that about the verb volere, to want. Okay? For example, I want to say, I wanted to buy that jacket. Okay? I would say volevo. It's a modal verb, so I have to use infinitive after that, right? Volevo comprare, to buy. Volevo comprare quella giacca. Volevo, right? Comprare, to buy. Quella, that giacca, that jacket. It works like that. I can't translate it as past continuous. I can't say I want, how to say? It doesn't sound correct even. I wanted buying that. I mean, it doesn't sound correct at all. So when it doesn't sound correct to translate as past continuous, you just have to translate it as simple past. When does these things happen? When you are using essere as imperfetto, or when you are using the verbs to tell your desires or your ideas that has been there in the past, okay? So this is how imperfetto works, the paradise of Italian language. Very, very super easy. Really super easy. You just have to see the sentences made by these tense. You can understand how easy it can be. So the session is finished. Well, actually I wanted to make it longer so it would worth watching. But well, I couldn't so much, at least. Remember to subscribe and like the video. It will be a great support for me from your side. See you in the next couple of days. I hope you would have a great weekend. Be happy and cheerful.